$50 million couldn't buy back the woman who left me, couldn't resurrect my dead parents, couldn't even make me feel less alone. But it could buy a lot of canned food, apparently. I'm standing in the Oregon lottery office holding a check with more zeros than I can process, and all I can think about is how Thalia would have loved this moment. She left me 9 months ago because I was a broke construction foreman with student loans and a 10-year-old truck. Now I'm worth more than her new husband ever will be, and she'll never know because I'm too proud to call her and tell her. The clerk congratulates me for the 3rd time. I nod, shake hands I don't remember shaking, and walk out into June sunshine that feels too bright for how empty I feel inside. My truck's parked on the street. Atlas is waiting in the passenger seat with her head stuck out the window, tongue lolling, tail wagging when she sees me. She's a 4-year-old German Shepherd mix I got from the shelter 2 years ago. And she's the only family I have left since Mom and Dad died in that car accident 4 years back. "Hey girl," I say, scratching behind her ears. She licks my face, completely unconcerned that her owner just became a millionaire. Dogs don't care about money. That's why I trust her more than I ever trusted Thalia. I drive home with the radio on, not really listening. The news anchor is talking about some aggressive flu outbreak in Portland, 40 miles north. People getting sick, hospitals overwhelmed, the usual pandemic talk that we've all heard too much of lately. I change the station, and I've got enough to worry about without adding global health crises to the list. My house is a small 2-bedroom in Bend, nothing fancy. Atlas trots inside and immediately goes to her water bowl. I stand in my kitchen holding a check for $50 million and realize I have absolutely no idea what to do with it. I could buy a mansion, travel the world, quit my job, but none of that sounds appealing when you're doing it alone. Money doesn't fix loneliness, it just makes the empty spaces more expensive. That's when I decide to take Atlas for a walk downtown. Fresh air, clear my head, maybe grab dinner at that pub she likes where they let dogs on the patio. We're walking past the old library when I see the teenagers. There are 3 of them, maybe 17 or 18, circling around something on the ground. At first I think it's a hurt animal, but then I hear the voice. "Just leave me alone." It's a man, older from the sound of it. The teenagers are laughing, kicking at something. "Come on, crazy man, tell us about the aliens again." I walk closer. Atlas's ears prick up, sensing my mood shift. The teenagers have cornered a homeless man against the library wall. He's filthy, wearing layers of stained clothing, gray hair matted and wild. His eyes are unfocused, but there's something in them that doesn't look quite as crazy as the kids think. "Hey," I call out, "leave him alone." The teenagers turn. The ringleader, a kid in a Ducks jersey, sneers. "What are you, the homeless police?" "I'm the guy telling you to move along before I call the actual police." "Whatever, man." They saunter off, still laughing. The kids these days have no respect for people down on their luck. I should know. I was almost homeless myself before that lottery ticket hit. The old man is struggling to stand. I offer my hand. He looks at it like it might bite him, then slowly takes it. His grip is surprisingly strong. "Thank you," he mutters. His voice is rough, like he hasn't used it much lately. "No problem. You okay?" He nods, but he's clearly not. His coat is torn, and I can see bruises on his arms. Atlas sniffs at him curiously, and to my surprise, he reaches down and scratches her head. She doesn't pull away, which is unusual. She's normally wary of strangers. "Your dog?" he says quietly. "She's loyal." "Yeah, she's a good girl." "You feed her?" "Of course." "When's the last time you ate?" I don't know why I ask, and maybe because I just won more money than I'll ever need, and this guy looks like he hasn't had a decent meal in months. He doesn't answer, which is answer enough. "Come on," I say. There's a diner around the corner. Let me buy you lunch. He stares at me like I've just spoken Chinese. Why? Because I can. We end up at Mel's Diner, a greasy spoon that's been around since the 70s. The waitress gives us a look when we walk in. Me, a homeless man and a German shepherd, but I slide into a booth in the back and she doesn't argue. Atlas curls up under the table. The old man orders everything on the menu, or at least it feels like it. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast, coffee. I just get coffee and watch him eat like he hasn't seen food in weeks. Maybe he hasn't. What's your name? I ask. He looks up, syrup on his beard. Does it matter? I'd like to know who I'm buying breakfast for. Oren Beckett. The name sounds familiar, but I can't place it. I'm Daxton Reed. This is Atlas. At the mention of her name, Atlas's tail thumps under the table. Oren eats in silence for a while. Then between bites of toast, he says, "You're kind. That's rare." "I just bought you breakfast. That's not exactly heroic." Kindness is heroic these days. He sets down his fork and looks at me with eyes that are suddenly very clear, very focused. "You recently came into money." I freeze. "How did you—" "I know things." He wipes his mouth with a napkin. "Here's what I know about you, Daxton Reed. You won the lottery, $50 million paid out yesterday. You're alone except for your dog. You're thinking about buying property, securing assets, maybe quitting your construction job." My blood runs cold. "Who are you?" "Someone who pays attention." He leans forward. "And someone who's about to give you advice you need to take seriously." "I don't—" "June 8th, he interrupts. 5:15 p.m. downtown riots, panic. By June 10th, the dead walk." I stare at him. This is insane. This is a crazy homeless man spouting nonsense, and I should leave right now. But something in his eyes stops me. "Use your lottery money," Oren continues. "Buy supplies, food, water, weapons, medical equipment. Find a secure location. Warehouse, ideally. Something you can defend. You have 5 days." "This is ridiculous." "June 8th, 5:15 p.m., he repeats. "You'll see. And when you do, remember what I told you." He stands up, wobbling slightly. "There's a shelter 2 blocks north. They'll let me shower, give me clean clothes. Will you take me there?" I don't know why I agree. Maybe because he knew about the lottery. Maybe because Atlas isn't growling at him and she has good instincts. Maybe because I've got nothing better to do. We drive to the shelter in silence. When we arrive, Oren gets out, then leans back in through the window. "One more thing," he says. "Trust your dog. Always trust your dog. She'll know before you do." Then he's gone, shuffling into the shelter, and I'm sitting in my truck trying to process what just happened. Atlas whines from the passenger seat. "Yeah, girl," I mutter. "That was weird." I drive home and do what any rational person would do. I Google Oren Beckett. The results make me drop my coffee mug. Dr. Oren Beckett, former CDC virologist, a specialist in infectious diseases and biological warfare. Published extensively in the 90s and early 2000s on pandemic preparedness and viral mutation. Then in 2015 he vanished. Just disappeared from public record. Some articles speculated he'd had a breakdown. Others suggested he'd been involved in classified research that went wrong. Nobody knew where he'd gone, until apparently he ended up homeless in Bend, Oregon, warning random construction foremen about the zombie apocalypse. I should dismiss it. I should forget the whole thing and focus on figuring out what to do with my lottery winnings. But I can't shake the feeling that he was serious. And it's only June 3rd. I have 5 days to find out if he's right. I don't believe in psychics or prophets or anything supernatural, but I believe in hedging my bets. And if there's even a 1% chance that Dr. Oren Beckett knows what he's talking about, then spending some of my lottery money on just-in-case supplies isn't the worst idea. That's how I find myself buying a warehouse. It's not a fancy warehouse. It's a 40-year-old concrete building on the industrial side of Bend. 15,000 square feet of empty space with loading docks, reinforced walls, and surprisingly good bones. The real estate agent is thrilled to get it off her hands for $2.1 million cash. Planning to start a business? She asks as we sign paperwork. Something like that. Atlas explores the empty space, her nails clicking on the concrete floor. She seems to approve, which is good enough for me. Over the next 3 days, I become that guy, and the crazy prepper spending a fortune on supplies for a disaster that's probably never coming. I buy food, cases and cases of canned goods, dried beans, rice, pasta, flour, sugar, salt, enough to feed a small army for 6 months. I buy water filtration systems, 55-gallon drums, purification tablets. I buy a generator, solar panels, batteries. I buy medical supplies, bandages, antibiotics, painkillers, surgical equipment that I have no idea how to use but figure I might need. I buy weapons, hunting rifles, shotguns, handguns, ammunition by the case, body armor, gas masks. I buy construction materials to reinforce the warehouse, steel plating, concrete barriers, welding equipment. The construction guys I hire don't ask questions, they just take my money and build what I tell them to build. Within 48 hours, my warehouse has reinforced doors, bars on the windows, a secure perimeter. Atlas watches all of this with the patience of a saint. She doesn't understand why her human is suddenly obsessed with stockpiling, but she's content as long as I remember to feed her and throw her tennis ball occasionally. On June 7th, the day before Oren's prophecy is supposed to come true, I'm installing the last of the security cameras when Atlas starts acting strange. She won't leave my side. Normally she's fine wandering around the warehouse, exploring, napping in sunny spots. But today she's glued to me, whining softly, pressing against my leg. "What's wrong, girl?" I scratch behind her ears, but she doesn't settle down. I check the news. The aggressive flu in Portland has gotten worse. Hospitals are completely overwhelmed, and there are reports of people acting erratically, attacking others. The mayor has declared a state of emergency, but that's Portland. That's 40 miles away. That's not here. Except Atlas doesn't agree. She's pacing now, agitated in a way I've never seen before. "It's okay," I tell her, though I'm not sure I believe it myself. "We're safe here." That night, I sleep in the warehouse for the first time. I've set up a small living area in what used to be an office, a bed, a desk, some basic furniture. Atlas curls up next to the bed, but she doesn't sleep. I can feel her watching me in the dark. June 8th arrives. I go through the motions. Inventory check, security system test. I've done everything I can to prepare for something I'm not even sure I believe in. 5 o'clock comes and goes. Nothing happens. 5:15. And I'm sitting in my makeshift office, feeling stupid for spending millions of dollars on a doomsday bunker based on a homeless man's ramblings, when the news alert comes through on my phone. Breaking. Riots erupt in downtown Portland. Police overwhelmed. Governor calls in National Guard. The timestamp on the alert is 5:17 p.m. 2 minutes after Oren said it would happen. I turn on the TV. Every news channel is showing the same thing. Chaos in Portland. Crowds attacking each other, people running, screaming. It looks like something out of a disaster movie. Atlas is on her feet, hackles raised, growling at nothing. "Jesus," I breathe. The news anchors are trying to make sense of it. What started as protests against the city's handling of the flu outbreak has descended into violence. We're getting reports of widespread looting, assault. The feed cuts out, then comes back, a different anchor looking shaken. We're now receiving reports that the violence has spread beyond Portland. Salem, Eugene, and Corvallis are all reporting similar incidents. Authorities are urging people to stay indoors. Another cut. When it comes back, the anchor is gone. The screen shows raw footage from a helicopter. I can see fires burning across the city, tiny figures running in the streets. And then I see something that makes my stomach drop. One of those figures attacking another, not fighting, not wrestling, attacking like an animal. My phone rings. I answer without looking. Daxton? It's my foreman, Martinez. Are you seeing this? Yeah. What the hell is going on? I don't know, but I think you should get home. I lock your doors. You think it's gonna spread here? I look at Atlas. She's still growling, staring at the door like she can hear something I can't. Yeah, I say quietly. I think it will. By midnight, the power grid fails. By dawn, cell phone service is gone. By noon on June 9th, the first infected reach Bend. I watch from my security cameras as they stumble through the streets. At first glance, they look drunk, staggering, uncoordinated. But there's something wrong with the way they move, something predatory. One of them attacks a woman who's trying to load supplies into her car. She screams. Others come running. Within seconds, she's swarmed. I turn away from the screen. Atlas whines and pushes her nose against my hand. Yeah, girl, I murmur. Oren was right. The dead are walking. It's June 10th, and the world has ended in 48 hours. I've been glued to my security cameras, watching the city tear itself apart. The infected, I don't know what else to call them, are everywhere. They don't move like zombies in the movies, slow and shambling. These things run, not fast, but with horrible determination. I've seen what happens when they catch someone. It's not pretty. Atlas hasn't left my side. She's curled up under my desk, occasionally lifting her head to listen to sounds I can't hear. I've noticed she's drinking more water than usual, and she seems restless in a way that's different from fear. But I'm too distracted to think about it much. The warehouse is secure. I did good work. The infected don't seem interested in it anyway. There's no movement inside, no sound, nothing to attract them. They're drawn to noise, into activity, to living people moving around. I've got enough supplies to last months, maybe longer if I'm careful. I could sit here and wait this out. Except I need to know if I'm the only one who prepared. On June 11th, I make my first supply run. It's a bad idea. I know it's a bad idea, but I need more information, and sitting in my warehouse watching security footage isn't giving me answers. Stay here, girl, I tell Atlas. She whines, clearly disagreeing with this plan. I'll be back, I promise. I grab a baseball bat, quieter than a gun, and head out through the loading dock. The street is empty, early afternoon, sunny and warm, and it looks like any other June day in Oregon except for the bodies. There are at least a dozen corpses within my line of sight. Some are torn apart. Others just look like they're sleeping, and I step around them carefully. The hardware store is 3 blocks away. I need more batteries, more duct tape, maybe some additional tools. The front windows are smashed, but that's fine. I'm not paying anyway. I'm halfway through loading a shopping cart when I hear it. Footsteps. Fast. Getting closer. I turn just in time to see the infected burst through the broken window. It's a woman, or used to be. Her face is gray, eyes bloodshot and wild, mouth hanging open. She's covered in blood, fresh blood, someone else's blood. And she's fast. I swing the bat, catch her in the shoulder. She doesn't even flinch. She grabs my arm, pulls me close, and sinks her teeth into my forearm. The pain is instant and overwhelming. I scream, bring the bat down on her head, once, twice. The third time, something cracks and she drops. I stagger back. Looking at my arm, the bite is deep, ragged, blood's pouring out of it. No, I breathe. No, no, no. I've seen what happens to people who get bitten. I've watched it on the security cameras. They turn. 2 hours, maybe 6, but they always turn. I run. I don't remember the trip back to the warehouse. Don't remember barricading the loading dock behind me. I just remember Atlas's face when I stumble in. She takes one look at my arm and starts whining, that high-pitched, distressed sound dogs make when they know something's wrong. "It's okay, girl," I lie. "I'm okay." I'm not okay. I'm bleeding all over the floor. I wrap the wound as best I can with shaking hands, then head to the basement. I've got a section down there set up as a quarantine area, just in case. Just in case someone got bit and I needed to isolate them. And I never thought I'd be isolating myself. "Atlas, stay," I command as I open the door. She doesn't stay. Of course she doesn't. She pushes past me, refusing to be separated. "Atlas, no, you can't be in here when I turn." She sits down and stares at me with those brown eyes that say more clearly than words, "I'm not leaving you." I don't have the strength to argue. I lock the door from the inside, sink down against the wall, and wait to die. Atlas lies down next to me, her head on my lap, and we wait together. 2 hours pass, then 4, then 6. I should be showing symptoms by now: fever, aggression, the glazed look in the eyes that comes before the end. But I feel fine. Tired, sure. In pain, definitely, but not infected. 8 hours, 12. Atlas is asleep, her breathing steady and calm. If I was turning, she'd know. Big dogs can sense that kind of thing. At hour 16, I carefully unwrap the bandage. The bite wound should be red, swollen, infected. It should look angry and dangerous. Instead, it's healing. Not just healing, healed. The ragged edges have closed up, leaving behind scar tissue that's smooth and silver like old burns. It doesn't hurt anymore. It barely even itches. I stare at my arm for a long time, trying to make sense of this. I should be dead. Or undead. I should be one of those things stumbling around outside. Instead, I'm sitting in my basement with a healed bite wound and a dog who's looking at me like she knew all along that I'd be fine. "What the hell?" I whisper. The next morning, I test a theory. I open the loading dock and step outside. There are infected in the street, maybe a dozen of them milling around, searching for prey. They turn toward me, start moving in my direction. I stand my ground, heart pounding. They get closer, 20 feet, 15, 10. Then they stop. They're looking at me. I can see it in their dead eyes. They know I'm here. They can see me, probably smell me, but they don't attack. One of them tilts its head, confused, like it doesn't understand why I'm not prey. I take a step forward. They don't react. Another step. Nothing. I'm standing 5 feet from a pack of zombies, and they're just staring at me. "Back up," I say, not really expecting anything to happen. They back up. I blink. "Stop." They stop. "Holy shit," I breathe. I can control them. I don't know how, don't know why, but I can give them commands and they obey. I spend the next hour experimenting, and the range seems to be about 50 feet. Anything farther and they don't respond. But within that radius, they'll do whatever I tell them. Move, stop, turn around, even attack each other if I command it. Atlas watches from the loading dock, tail wagging slightly. She seems pleased with this development, like it confirms something she already suspected. When I finally come back inside, I'm shaking with adrenaline and confusion. I'm immune to the infection. I can control the infected. And somehow, Orrin Beckett knew this would happen to me. I need answers, but Orrin's probably dead by now, along with most of the city. Atlas nudges my hand with her nose. When I look down at her, I notice for the first time that her belly seems rounder than usual. "Girl," I say slowly, "are you pregnant?" She wags her tail. Of course. Perfect timing. And the apocalypse hits and my dog decides to have puppies. I laugh, because what else can I do? The world's gone to hell, I've got zombie superpowers, and my German Shepherd is about to be a mom. "Well," I tell her, "at least we won't be lonely." She licks my face, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I feel something that might be hope. 3 weeks into the apocalypse, my satellite phone rings. I've got exactly one sat phone. Bought it before the outbreak. Figured it might be useful if cell service went down. Gave the number to exactly nobody because I don't have anybody to give it to. So when it rings, I stare at it for a full 10 seconds before answering. Hello? Daxton? The voice is female, shaking. Daxton, it's Thalia. I almost dropped the phone. Thalia, my ex-girlfriend. I'm the woman who left me because I was too broke to give her the life she wanted. The woman who married Adler Knox 3 months after dumping me. A real estate developer with more money than sense. How did you get this number? I ask. It doesn't matter, please, I need help. Where's your husband? Silence. Then, he's dead. Daxton Adler's dead. I'm alone and Her voice breaks. I'm 9 months pregnant. Labor could start any day. I need help. Part of me wants to hang up, wants to let her deal with the consequences of choosing wealth over loyalty. She made her bed. Let her lie in it. But I'm not that cruel. And underneath the anger, there's still something there. Some old wound that hasn't healed. Where are you? My condo, downtown, 4th floor. Downtown's a war zone, Thalia. I know. I've been barricaded in here for 2 weeks, but I'm running out of food and water, and if labor starts... She's crying now. Please? I know what I did. I know I don't deserve your help, but the baby... Atlas is at my feet, whining softly. She's pressing against my leg, staring up at me with those knowing eyes. Dogs have instincts about these things, especially pregnant dogs. They can sense when another female is about to give birth, can smell the hormones or something. Atlas has been extra clingy lately, her own belly getting rounder by the day. Right now, she's looking at me like she's made a decision and expects me to follow suit. One rescue, I hear myself say. I'll get you out, bring you somewhere safe. After that, we'll figure it out. Thank you, she whispers. Thank you so much. I hang up and look at Atlas. You think I'm doing the right thing? She wags her tail. Yeah, well, let's hope you're right. Planning the rescue takes the rest of the day. Downtown is 4 miles away, and those 4 miles are packed with infected. I've gotten better at controlling them, can manage maybe 50 at once now, clear paths, create diversions, but that many in that small A space is risky. I load up my truck with supplies. Atlas jumps into the passenger seat without being asked, settling in like she's done this 1,000 times. You sure you want to come? I ask. Could get dangerous. She just stares at me. Of course she's coming. Where else would she be? The drive into downtown is surreal. Streets I've driven 1,000 times are now obstacle courses of abandoned cars and corpses. The infected are everywhere, drawn by the sound of my engine. But as I get closer, they start to respond to my commands. I think clear the road, and they shamble out of the way. Think don't follow, and they stay put. It's not perfect. My control range is limited, and there are too many of them. But it's enough. Thalia's condo building is one of those modern luxury places with floor-to-ceiling windows and a doorman who's now dead in the lobby. I park out front, leaving the engine running. Stay here, girl, I tell Atlas. She whines but obeys, watching through the windshield as I head inside. The elevator's dead, obviously. I take the stairs, controlling the infected I encounter along the way. There are maybe 15 in the stairwell, and they part from me like water. 4th floor. Apartment 4C. I knock. Thalia, it's me. The door opens immediately, and there she is. I haven't seen her in 9 months. She looks different, older, tired, scared, and very, very pregnant. Daxton, she breathes, and then she's hugging me, crying into my shoulder. I stand there awkwardly, not sure what to do with my hands. Part of me wants to comfort her, Part of me wants to push her away and remind her that she chose someone else. We need to move, I say instead. Can you walk? I think so, She gasps, doubling over. What? What's wrong? Contraction, she manages. They've been coming all morning. I think labor's starting. Of course it is, because nothing in this apocalypse can be simple. Okay, I say, trying to stay calm. Okay, we need to get you to the truck. Can you make it down 4 flights of stairs? I don't have a choice, do I? We make it to the 3rd floor before her water breaks, and it happens on the landing between floors, a sudden gush of fluid that soaks through her clothes. She gasps, grabs the railing, and I know we're not making it to the warehouse. Change of plans, I say. We're staying here. What? No, we need to... You're in labor, Thalia. Active labor from the looks of it. We're not going anywhere. I help her back to her apartment. By the time we get there, the contractions are coming every 5 minutes. Atlas is still in the truck. I can see her through the window, pacing in the front seat. She knows something's happening. I've never delivered a baby. Never even been in the room when one was born. But I've got my phone. I've got YouTube videos I downloaded before the internet died, and I've got no other choice. The next 6 hours are the longest of my life. Thalia's in agony, screaming, he crying, begging for it to stop. I do what I can, boil water on her camping stove, find clean towels, follow the instructions from medical videos I barely understand. The whole time I'm using my ability to keep infected away from the building. I can feel them out there, dozens of them drawn by Thalia's screams. But I command them to stay back, to circle the block, to leave us alone. It's exhausting. Like pushing a boulder uphill with my mind, but I don't stop. At 11:47 p.m., 3 weeks and 1 day after the world ended, Thalia's baby is born. A girl, tiny red, screaming her lungs out, the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. She's perfect, Thalia whispers, holding her daughter for the first time. She's perfect. I clean the baby as best I can, wrap her in a blanket, check to make sure she's breathing okay. She is. She's healthy, and against all odds, she's healthy. What are you going to name her? I ask. Thalia looks down at her daughter, tears streaming down her face. Era. It means snow. She was born into a world that's cold and harsh, but she's pure, untouched by all this. Era, I repeat. It's perfect. We load them both into the truck just before dawn. Thalia's exhausted, barely able to walk. I carry Era in a makeshift sling against my chest, and she sleeps through the whole trip. Atlas hasn't moved from the passenger seat. When I open the door with the baby, she immediately goes still, nose twitching. Then she leans forward very gently and sniffs Era's head. The baby stirs, but doesn't wake. Atlas's tail wags slowly. She approves. Good girl, I murmur. You're gonna help me protect her, aren't you? Back at the warehouse, I set Thalia up in my bed. She's bleeding more than I think is normal, but I don't know enough about childbirth to be sure. Thank you, she says as I'm tucking her in. For everything. I know I don't deserve... Get some rest, I interrupt. We'll talk later. But we don't get to talk later, because by morning Thalia's fever is spiking and the bleeding hasn't stopped. Postpartum hemorrhage. That's what the medical textbooks call it, excessive bleeding after birth caused by the uterus not contracting properly. It's one of the leading causes of maternal death worldwide. And I'm watching it kill Thalia in real time. We need to get you to a hospital, I say, even though we both know that's not happening. The hospitals are either overrun with infected or burned to the ground. I'm not going to make it, Thalia whispers, and her lips are pale, her skin clammy. She's been bleeding for 12 hours straight. Don't say that. Daxton. She grabs my hand with surprising strength. I need you to promise me something. What? Take care of Era, please. She needs... She stops, gasping for breath. She needs someone good, someone kind, someone like you. I'm not her father. I know, but you're the best man I know. She's crying now. I was so stupid. I left you for money and look where it got me, dying in a warehouse while the world burns. I don't know what to say to that. Atlas is curled up next to the makeshift crib I've set up for Ira, watching over the sleeping baby like a guardian angel. Her belly is huge now. She's got maybe a week before her own puppies arrive. There's formula in my bag, Thalia continues. Bottles, diapers, everything she needs for a few months. After that, she trails off. I'll figure it out. You always do. She manages a weak smile. That's why I loved you. You fix things, you prepare, you take care of people. Not well enough, I mutter. The bleeding gets worse overnight. I try everything I can think of, pressure, elevation, medications I find in my medical supplies. Nothing works. By the second day, she's barely conscious. The hospital, I say desperately. There might be supplies there, equipment. It's too late, she breathes. Daxton, listen. The timeline. I was pregnant before I left you, I freeze. What? Do the math. Her eyes are unfocused, fever bright. I was already pregnant when I married Adler. I thought it might be his from early in the affair, but the timeline. It's yours. Thalia, you're delirious. Maybe. She closes her eyes. But maybe not. Take care of our daughter. On the third day, she dies. I burn her body in the warehouse parking lot because I don't know what else to do. Era is 3 days old, sleeping in her crib, blissfully unaware that her mother just died. Atlas won't leave the baby's side. She's taken up permanent residence next to the crib, occasionally licking Era's tiny hands when she waves them around. I sit on the floor and try to process what Thalia said about the timeline, about the baby being mine. But that doesn't make sense. She left me 9 months ago. Era was just born. The math works if she got pregnant right before she left, but she said she was already with Adler by then. It's probably just the fever talking, delirium. Last words that don't mean anything. Still, I can't help looking at Ira's face and wondering. Weeks 4 through 6 are a blur of survival and exhaustion, feeding Era every 3 hours, changing diapers, trying to figure out how to be a parent to a baby I'm not even sure is mine. Atlas is my saving grace. She seems to understand that I'm drowning, so she's taken on the role of co-parent. She stays by Era's crib, alerting me when the baby cries, sometimes even nuzzling her gently back to sleep. And her own belly keeps growing. How many puppies are you carrying, girl? I ask one evening while bottle feeding Era. Atlas just thumps her tail against the floor. Week 6, it happens. I wake up at 3 a.m. to the sound of whining. Atlas is in the corner of the warehouse, circling, panting, clearly in distress. Labor. I've helped birth plenty of animals on construction sites over the years. Cats, dogs, even a goat once. But this feels different. This is Atlas, my best friend, my family. I set up a whelping area with blankets and towels, talk to her in a soothing voice as she works through contractions. You're doing great, girl, that's it, you're so strong. The first puppy arrives at 4:15 a.m., a little ball of damp fur that Atlas immediately starts cleaning with her tongue. It's tiny, maybe a pound, and within minutes it's nursing. The second puppy comes 20 minutes later, then the third, then the fourth. 4 healthy puppies, all squirming and squeaking and perfect. Atlas is an incredible mother. She knows exactly what to do, cleaning them, arranging them for nursing, keeping them warm. I just sit back and watch, amazed. You're a natural, a girl, I tell her. A great mom. She looks up at me with tired but happy eyes, and I swear she's proud of herself. I'm now responsible for 5 dogs and 1 human baby in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. We're both single parents now, I tell Atlas. You with 4, me with 1, we can handle this. Over the next 2 weeks, I watch the puppies grow. They're loud, messy, constantly hungry. But Atlas manages all 4 with the patience of a saint. One puppy in particular catches my attention. The smallest of the litter, a female with a white patch on her chest. She's drawn to Era's crib, often sleeping right underneath it. You picked your favorite human already, didn't you? I ask her one day. The puppy just yawns and goes back to sleep. Atlas divides her time between nursing her puppies and guarding Era. I've never seen a dog so devoted to a baby that isn't even hers. My zombie control abilities keep expanding. I'm up to about 200 feet now, can manage maybe 100 infected at once. Supply runs are easier. I just command the infected to clear paths and they obey. But I keep thinking about what Thalia said, about the timeline. I'm not good at math, never was. But even I can count months on my fingers. 9 months from now would put conception around September. Last year, Thalia left me in September, late September. Which means if she was already pregnant when she left, no, that's crazy. She said she was with Adler before she left. The baby's his. Except she also said the timeline doesn't work for Adler. I shake my head. It doesn't matter. Era needs someone to take care of her, and I'm the only one here. And whether she's mine or not is irrelevant. Still, the question nags at me. Week 8, someone appears at my warehouse gate. I see him on the security cameras, an old man stumbling, clearly injured. There's blood on his shirt. It's Oren. I race to the gate and let him in. He collapses in my arms, barely conscious. You, he rasps. You survived. Thanks to you. I help him inside, lay him on a cot. What happened? Bite. He shows me his arm. The wound is bad, deep, already showing signs of infection. I'm dying. You're immune. You told me. I'm not like you. He coughs and blood flecks his lips. I created this virus, but I couldn't make myself immune. Only you. You're the only one. Why me? Because you showed kindness. His eyes are feverish. The universe balances. You gave when you had nothing. So it gave back. That's not how science works. No. But it's how karma works. He grabs my hand. There are others coming for you. A man named Stroud, military. He knows you're immune. He wants to harvest you. Harvest? Your blood. Your cells. He thinks he can weaponize immunity. Oren's breathing is getting labored. Don't let him. Don't let them turn you into what I became. What did you become? A monster who created monsters. He closes his eyes. I'm sorry for all of it. He dies 6 hours later. Turns into one of them. I have to kill him. Atlas sits by Era's crib the whole time, protecting the baby from the ugliness happening in the corner of the warehouse. After I burn Oren's body, I go through his belongings. There's not much. A tattered journal, a few photos, and a map with locations marked. One location is circled in red, a facility 200 miles north. Stroud's compound, it says. I study the map, then look at Atlas and her puppies. They're 8 weeks old now, energetic and playful. The smallest one is still attached to Era, sleeping under her crib. We need to be ready, I tell Atlas. Bad people are coming. She nuzzles my hand, trusting that I'll protect her family. I just hope I can. Weeks 9 and 10 are spent preparing for war. I use my control abilities to create a perimeter of infected around the warehouse. 200 of them stationed in a circle, keeping watch. It's exhausting. Maintaining control over that many takes constant mental effort. But it's better than being caught off guard. The puppies are getting bigger, more coordinated. They're starting to bark, to play fight with each other. And Atlas is teaching them the basics, hunting, alerting, protecting. The smallest puppy, the one with the white patch, has become Era's unofficial guardian. She won't leave the baby's side. When Era cries, the puppy whimpers. When Era sleeps, the puppy sleeps underneath her crib. You're just like your mama, I tell her one day, protecting the baby like she's family. Atlas watches me interact with her puppies, tail wagging. She's a proud mother, and she should be. She's raised 4 healthy, strong pups in the middle of an apocalypse. One night, I intercept a radio transmission. I've got an old ham radio set up, scanning frequencies for survivors. Most of what I hear is static or automated distress calls. But tonight, I catch something different. Located target, warehouse on east side. Recommend assault with incendiary weapons. These zombies won't help him if they're burning. My blood runs cold. Incendiary weapons, fire. Fire kills zombies. My control is useless if they're all burning. I have 48 hours, maybe less. I look at Atlas, sleeping in her corner with her puppies piled around her. At Era, 3 months old, gurgling happily in her crib. We're a pack now, I whisper to Atlas. You, me, Era, your 4 babies. Whatever comes, I'll protect all of you. She opens one eye, looks at me, and goes back to sleep. She trusts me. I can't let her down. The attack comes at dawn on day 48. I'm watching the security cameras when I see them. 20 men in tactical gear carrying flamethrowers and incendiary grenades. Leading them is a man in his 50s, gray-haired, military bearing. Stroud. My radio crackles. Daxton Reed. And we know you can hear us. Surrender. We need your immunity. Come peacefully and no one gets hurt. I key the mic. No. Then you burn. The first flamethrower ignites my zombie perimeter. I watch on the cameras as my controlled infected burst into flames. They scream. Yes, they can still scream as fire consumes them. I can feel the connection breaking one by one as they die. No! I'm on my feet trying to command them to retreat, to scatter, but fire doesn't care about my commands. Within minutes, all 200 are dead. The warehouse is next. They're throwing incendiaries at the walls, trying to smoke me out. Atlas is on her feet, barking. The puppies are whimpering, scared by the noise and smoke. Era is crying. I grab my rifle and head to the loading dock. If they want me, they're going to have to fight for it. And the battle lasts 3 hours. I'm not a soldier, but I know construction, know defensive positions, know how to make every shot count. And I'm fighting for my family, but they're overwhelming us. Fire is spreading through the warehouse. Smoke is filling the air. A bullet catches me in the shoulder and I nearly drop my rifle. At nightfall, they retreat. But they'll be back at dawn. I assess the damage. The warehouse is 40% burned, structurally compromised. All my zombie sentries are dead. I'm wounded. And I have a baby and 5 dogs to protect. We need to evacuate, I tell Atlas. She's standing guard over her puppies, refusing to leave them even as smoke fills the air. I load supplies into my truck. Food, water, weapons, Era's carrier. I'm working as fast as I can, but it's not fast enough. Dawn comes, and they attack from 2 directions this time, north and south, pinching us between them. I can hear boots on concrete, orders being shouted. They're breaching. I grab Era's carrier and run toward the central storage room. It's the most defensible position I have left. Atlas is behind me, carrying 1 puppy in her mouth. The other 3 follow, stumbling on their short legs. We reach the storage room. It has 2 exits. East leads to an office with a hiding spot I built for exactly this scenario. West leads to the basement, where Atlas's den is, where the puppy's nest is located. I can hear the soldiers closing in from both directions. I have maybe 60 seconds before they breach. I look at Era, crying in her carrier. I look at Atlas, standing between me and her 4 puppies, ears flat against her head. I can defend 1 exit. Not both. If I go east to save Era, Atlas and the puppies will be trapped in the west. If I go west to save Atlas and the puppies, Era will be captured. I can't save both. I'm sorry, I whisper. Atlas is watching me, waiting for a command. She trusts me to make the right choice. But there is no right choice. Boots echoing. 30 seconds. I make a decision. I grab Era's carrier and run east toward the office. Behind me, I hear Atlas bark once. Sharp, acknowledging. Then she runs to her puppies. I'm fumbling with the hidden panel in the office wall when I hear the west entrance breach. Gunfire. Atlas barking. Not in fear, in fury. Atlas, no! I scream, but it's too late. I watch through a crack in the wall. Atlas has the smallest puppy, the one with the white patch in her mouth. She's running toward me, toward the east, in toward Era. She's choosing the baby over her own puppies. She reaches me, drops the puppy next to Era's carrier, and turns back. Atlas, stay! I beg. Stay here with me. She looks at me one last time. Her eyes say, I have to try. Then she's running back toward the west entrance, toward her other 3 puppies. I see soldiers entering from the west. They see her. Gunfire. She's hit. She staggers but keeps running. Reaches the corner where her 3 puppies are huddled, terrified. She grabs one in her mouth, gets shot again, drops it. She tries to shield the puppies with her body, but there are too many bullets. I watch my best friend die on top of her children, buying me time to hide. The puppies die too, all 3 of them. The soldiers search the storage room but miss the hidden panel. I'm holding Era close, covering her mouth gently so she won't cry. The surviving puppy is whimpering softly, and I'm doing the same to her. Shh, I breathe. Please, Atlas died for you. Don't make it for nothing. Hours pass. The soldiers finally leave, taking what supplies they can carry. At 3 a.m., I emerge from the hiding spot. The warehouse is in ruins, smoke damage everywhere. The central storage room is a war zone. And in the corner, I find Atlas. She's lying on top of her 3 dead puppies, her body riddled with bullets. Her eyes are closed. She looks peaceful. I kneel beside her and I break. I cry like I haven't cried since my parents died. I cry for Atlas, for her puppies, for the world that's ended and the friend I've lost. The surviving puppy, the smallest one, the one with the white patch, crawls over and curls against Atlas's body, whimpering. She chose my daughter over her own children, I whisper. What kind of loyalty is that? I bury Atlas and her 3 puppies in the parking lot at dawn. I don't have much time. Stroud's forces could come back, but I can't leave her above ground. Era sleeps through the whole thing. The puppy sits by the grave, quiet and still. Come on, I tell her. We have to go. She follows me to the truck, gets in without being asked. She knows her mother isn't coming back. We drive through the sunrise, heading for the mountains. Era in her carrier. The puppy curled in the passenger seat where Atlas used to ride. I'm going to call you Scout, I tell the puppy. Your mama was a warrior. You're a survivor, Scout. It fits. She licks my hand. In the rearview mirror, I watch the warehouse burn. 6 months later, we're living in a cabin in the Cascade Mountains, 50 miles from anything resembling civilization. It's remote, defensible, and most importantly, quiet. Era is 9 months old now. She's crawling, starting to pull herself up on furniture. Her first word was Dada, which made my heart ache in ways I didn't expect. Scout is 6 months old, fully grown, and the spitting image of Atlas. Same coloring, same intelligent eyes, same protective instincts. She won't leave Era's side, ever. Sleeps under the crib, follows her everywhere, alerts me to any potential danger. You're just like your mama, Scout, I tell her often. She'd be proud. My zombie control has evolved. I can manage maybe 500 infected now, spread across a half-mile radius. Scout has learned to work with them. She herds them like sheep. I directs them to patrol routes, even alerts me when they're acting strange. We've created a sustainable life here. Solar power, garden, hunting. The infected leave us alone because I command them to. It's peaceful, quiet, almost normal. I'm in the cabin office one afternoon going through old boxes from the warehouse when I find it. Thalia's journal. I didn't even know she kept one. But here it is, leather-bound, tucked into the bottom of a box of her belongings I grabbed during the evacuation. I shouldn't read it, it's private. But I open it anyway. Most of it is mundane, daily thoughts, complaints about Adler, worries about the pregnancy. Then I reach an entry from 8 months before the outbreak. Left Daxton 4 weeks ago, now pregnant, terrified. Don't know if baby is his or Adler's. My hands start shaking. I flip forward 5 months before the outbreak. Blood type test came back. Baby is O negative. Adler is AB positive. Biologically impossible for Adler to be father. Baby is Daxton's. I stole his child from him. The journal falls from my hands. Era is mine. Not maybe, not possibly. Mine, my daughter, my biological child. I look at Scout, who's watching me with concern. Your mama knew, I whisper. Somehow Atlas knew. That's why she chose Era first, why she saved the baby before her own puppies. Female dogs can sense bloodlines, can smell genetic connections that humans can't detect. Atlas didn't choose a stranger's baby over her biological children. She chose her alpha's daughter. She chose family. And then she went back for her puppies anyway because she couldn't abandon them. Died trying to save both. And I'm crying again. Not from grief this time, from understanding. She was smarter than me, I tell Scout. She knew Era was mine before I did. Scout whines and licks my face. I find Era in the living room playing with wooden blocks. She sees me and grins, holding up her arms. Dada. I pick her up, hold her close. My daughter, not Adler's, not a stranger's child I'm raising out of obligation. Mine. Atlas died protecting you, I whisper to her. She gave her life for family, for our family. Scout sits at my feet, tail wagging, patient and loyal, just like her mother. 1 year after the outbreak. Era is 15 months old, walking now, getting into everything. Her vocabulary consists of maybe 20 words. Dada, Scout, no, mine, more, and a bunch of babbling that might be words or might just be noise. Scout is 12 months old, fully grown, trained, and perfect. She's inherited her mother's intelligence, her protective instincts, her gentle nature with children. I tell Era about Atlas sometimes. Mama Atlas was Scout's mommy, I explain, showing her the photo I took of Atlas with her newborn puppies. She was the bravest dog who ever lived. She saved you. Mama Atlas, good dog? The best dog. She chose you over her own babies because she loved us. Scout, good dog too. Yeah, baby, Scout's a good dog too. Scout's ears perk up at her name. She walks over and lets Era climb on her back, something she tolerates with the patience of a saint. We've been contacted by a few other survivor groups. My zombie control abilities are becoming known and people are starting to see me as someone who can help rebuild. But I'm cautious. And after Stroud, I don't trust easily. One day, Scout finds an injured survivor near our perimeter. A woman, mid-30s, dehydrated and starving. Scout brings her to me instead of attacking, showing the same rescue instinct Atlas had. Good girl, Scout, I tell her. Just like your mama, always helping. The woman recovers and leaves after a week, but her presence makes me think. Maybe it's time to start trusting again. Maybe it's time to build something bigger than just survival. That evening, I sit on the porch with Era and Scout watching the sunset. You know what? I tell Scout. Your mama chose my daughter over you and your brothers, but you don't resent Era. You love her like a sister. Scout wags her tail. That's what Atlas taught you. Sacrifice, loyalty, family. Scout howls at the sunset. Era tries to imitate her, and they're both terrible at it. I laugh, the first real laugh I've had in months. Neither of you inherited Atlas's musical talent, I say. We sit there until the stars come out, 3 survivors in a world that ended. But we're not just surviving, we're living. We're a family, and tomorrow we'll do it again. If you're hearing this, you survived. Maybe you lost everyone, maybe you made impossible choices, maybe you wonder if any of it mattered. I lost my dog, Atlas, my best friend, the most loyal creature I've ever known. A mother who chose my daughter over her own puppies because she understood something I couldn't see. For months I thought she chose wrong, thought she was confused, mistaken, prioritizing a stranger's baby. Then I learned the truth. That baby wasn't a stranger. She was mine, my daughter, my blood. Atlas knew before I did. Dogs sense these things, bloodlines, family connections, bonds deeper than we understand. That's why she chose Era first, why she saved her before her own puppies. She knew Era was her alpha's child, her pack leader's daughter. She was a mother who put pack hierarchy before biology, who chose her alpha's child, then tried to save her own, who died protecting both. Her daughter, Scout, is with us now, growing up with my daughter, protecting her like her mother did, carrying on that legacy. That homeless man, Dr. Beckett, told me to trust my dog. He was right. Atlas led me to truth even when I was blind. I have a daughter who calls me Dada, a dog who's her sister and protector, a cabin where we're safe. The dead walk outside, I command them. My daughter plays near them like they're harmless. Scout herds them like livestock. But we're growing up safe, loved, protected by Scout, who inherited her mother's heart. Atlas chose sacrifice. Scout chose love. I chose family. And if I could go back, knowing I'd lose Atlas but gain Scout and Ira, I'd choose the same, because family isn't just blood, it's choice. It's a mother dog who saves your child before her own. It's her daughter who grows up loving your daughter like a sister. That's what survives when everything else is gone. Stay safe out there. Stay human. Stay alive. This is Daxton Reed, Scout and Era, signing off.